Napa, pura calidad.
Dale más vida a tu carro con Napa. Aceite convencional para motor Pennzoil por solo $3.49 el cuarto. Además ahorras $10 por par, llevándote los limpiaparabrisas Bosch Evolution Beam. Lógralo con Napa, pura calidad.
Oferta válida hasta el 28 de febrero. Precio general en los diferentes estados. El precio no incluye impuestos aplicables ni cargos por reciclaje. Ver tienda para detalles.
Napa, pura calidad.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
Jimmy Mack is a renowned medical intuitive and spiritual life coach who has taken, completed, and even mastered a variety of healing modalities. After a near-death experience, he was shown and developed a simpler way to create healing and profound changes, now known as My Liquid Fish. He works with clients in person, on the phone, and over Skype worldwide, accessing energetic powers and co-creating changes that you can actually feel. Call in now to reserve your spot on the switchboard. The call-in number is 713-955-0594. Press 1 if you would like to ask Jimmy Mack a question. Enjoy this 1 hour of profound healing.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Mack coming to you live, Clearwater, Florida. Hope everybody's having a great week. First day of spring yesterday, the big equinox. What a dream. And it's been wild, I guess, from what I understand from my astrology friends and people that study all that Venus is retrograde, and of course we got Mercury retrograde coming up in a couple weeks. But hey, we just run no matter what. My dear mentor and friend I started out with used to say, Jimmy, you're so much bigger than astrology and the planets. Isn't that sweet and funny? And yet it really affects folks, of course, full moons and retrogrades and more people going to the hospitals and jails and whatever. So it definitely affects other folks. And so it's something to be aware of, work around. If you know how to clear yourself of all that negativity, that's a dream. If you don't, look up My Liquid Fish, reach out to me, info@JimmyMackHealing.com. And if you're not already on our weekly Wednesday newsletter, e-letter, you should be. And of course, we'll send out a bunch of things if you sign up. And there are radio shows and videos and ebooks and things in writing and all kinds of different things that aren't available on the web. So reach out to us, info@JimmyMackHealing.com. Last Tuesday of the month coming up next week, of course, is Reverend Debbie Deanspear, and she's, as you know, a trans medium and speaks to the dead, so it's always interesting. She's always given me profound messages from my brother and my father, and has said things and told me things that nobody else knew, so it's always fascinating to hear, and I know that's always one of our most popular shows. A lot of new stuff coming out the first week almost in the face of retrograde. The first week in April, we got a new audio MP3 coming out, and it's really about fear and dark matter and energy, negative, clearing curses, hexes, spells, that sort of thing. So really look for that. That's just going to be wild. I actually, process of recording that, had neck and back pain. After I finished recording it, all the neck and back pain was gone. So it's amazing how much negativity there is out there that we pick up. Just by going around crowds of people. You could be in a hospital, a stadium, big restaurant, that sort of thing. You end up picking up all kinds of stuff. So definitely want to figure out how to clear yourself. Hey, today's guest is Karen Dahlman. We're excited about having her on the show. She's an author and visionary and all about the Ouija board. And so we definitely want to get into that and have her tell us all about that. So a lot of times it had a negative connotation, years and years ago. But I find it's interesting, and one of my dear friends and her friend, Marla Martinson, reminded me, hey, all it is numbers and letters. So isn't that interesting? So you can use a pendulum, folks, or standing applied kinesiology, or any of that, or Ouija board, or however you get your answers, yes or no. What a dream. That's awesome. Hey, Karen, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Jimmy. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to our discussion today.
Yeah. Thanks for being on. We appreciate it. You know, it has,
Absolutely.
I'm sure you've heard it over and over again and been beat up over it, but, you know, back in the day, of course, you and I are what my mother calls no spring chickens. We've been around the block, and, you know, early on, they acted like this.
Buddy.
You know, right? And early on, they acted
Right.
like the Ouija board was, you know, ooh, and, you know, playing in the basement with the teenagers, and then Betty Sue died in a car crash, that kind of thing. So it had that
Right.
connotation for forever. So just to spell for people why it is more, you know, basic and numbers and letters, and really the progress you've made in studying all this. And I know you've done it for years and years. So tell folks about that.
Yeah, I have done it for years and years, but we don't necessarily have to tell how old we are. We do go back a little bit. Yeah, so I know the stories you're talking about, and yes, most of us started with this tool at slumber parties or in the basement, and we might have snuck it so our parents didn't see us, or we might have played games around it and didn't take it seriously. I was one of those. I did play around with it at slumber parties. However, I got my first board in 1973 at the age of 8, and it worked for me immediately. And what had happened was I had 2 little girlfriends down the street. One was 8, one was 10, and they were sisters. And they wanted to show me this new game, they called it. They'd been using for a while. And I saw it. It was the Ouija board with the little planchette that moves around on it. That's that little heart-looking figure with the opening in it. And you put your fingers on it, and it's supposed to move, and you're supposed to talk to the deceased. That's truly why the Ouija board was originally created, to talk to the deceased. So I thought, okay, this is silly. I watched the girls do it. It moved around nicely, spelled some words, made some sentences. And I said, okay, I want to try it. So I tried it, and I swore I wasn't pushing it. They swore they weren't pushing it, and it worked. So the amazing part was not just that it worked, was that then they said, we're going to show you who we talked to. And they got this little message, and they read it, and they said, we're talking to our dead sister. And Jimmy, first of all, I had no idea they had a dead sister. It was the twin sister. Yeah, the 10-year-old. Right. She had a dead sister. She died shortly after birth. But the most amazing thing, Jimmy, and this is one of my first lessons I learned about the other side, was that when the children die, or anybody dies, you can continue to grow up. And this twin of hers was still growing up, and she was also 10 years old, but on the other side. She had a full life on the other side growing up. And these girls were able now to talk to her. That, to me, was truly amazing. So I run home, tell my parents, and I said, you're not going to believe this. You can talk to the dead through the Ouija board. They're like, sure, wink, wink. And I told them, I said, I don't care what you think, but Santa Claus is going to give me one. And sure enough, Santa Claus gave me one in 1973, December 25th. I got my first Ouija board.
Yay, Santa!
Yay, good Santa. I've been using it ever since. And so I learned that it could be a serious tool, fully not understanding those words that I may use now. And I still messed around with it at summer parties. We'd ask silly little questions. But in college is when I got really serious about it. And that's when I realized this is definitely a tool. It's a neutral device. It's just a device, a tool you can use that gives you permission to move into the other realms. And then my whole odyssey started from there.
Wow. Very cool. Now, if you're to have, obviously you deal with clients, people, you do intuitive readings and whatnot through that, or you do cards, or tell folks what you really do. They're going to call up and want to schedule an appointment.
Well, we do readings. We've taken a little bit of break from that. We're doing some other creative things with the board right now, but yes, we do a lot of shows where people call in. We do readings. And what I use the board for mostly now too is I write books with it. I work with a group of ethereal beings. This means they've never been incarnated in a physical human form. They're of light source energy, and they come from a very high vibration, and they channel through the board, and they also channel directly through me, and I verbally communicate them now. And so together we write books. We've written 3 so far. We're working on a couple more. with their messages and their guidance and inspiration, so people can. I mean, life is hard enough as it is, but so they give ways to maneuver and navigate through life, so you can feel empowered and allow yourself to be the best, greatest person you can be.
Love it. Well said. Tell folks how to get a hold of you, the website, your email address, that sort of thing.
Sure. Yeah. So you could find me at my name, Karen A. Dahlman, DAHLMAN.com. And that's my website. You can find me on social media and all under Karen A. Dahlman, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Instagram. And you come to my website because I do have a lot of articles I write, blogs about talking boards, spirituality, well-being, everything to help you become your greatest self. Jimmy, I don't know if you know or not, my background is a psychotherapist. I practiced for quite some time. I still have all my licenses and everything, and I was doing all that work back in the late 80s and all the 90s. And in tandem of doing my psychotherapy work with clients, I was doing hypnosis, past life regression, art psychotherapy, traditional counseling. I was also using the Ouija board, but not with my clients, but for my own development. And I was learning a lot about the other dimensions, the other side, in terms of what we call the other side, just about what happens to a person when they transition. So I was learning all that in tandem with doing psychotherapy with people, and that became the foundation of a lot of the research and work I do now when I use the board and also when I write my books.
Love it. Yeah, no, that's great. It's very interesting. I did read all that about your degrees and whatnot right in New Mexico, so it was all very interesting. Our dual dear friend Marla Martinson raves over you, so that's all I needed to know.
Oh, it's fabulous. And as you know, together we have a show we do on YouTube called The Women of Ouija. I invite all your listeners to check it out. Marla and I get together, and that's how I met Jimmy. And Jimmy, I've watched your shows too, and I think you're fabulous what you do. What's neat is that we're all coming about this from a different perspective or angle, but we're all getting to the same message. And the message is to be an empowered being. And like, I think I loved your introduction, how you said you can use kinesiology, you can use cards, you can use any kind of other tools. And there's just different ways to access this information. And so I always encourage people it's not to go out and buy a Ouija board because it has this weird controversial stigma about it. It's to just be open to the possibilities of ways to develop your greatest self. And I know like Marla does, she does crystals, she's crystal healing, and she does Reiki, and she also uses the Ouija board like I do. So our show together that we do, Women of Ouija, talks mostly about the Ouija board, but it also gives you tips and tools in terms of how to, make life easier for yourself. As a therapist, I never once had anybody coming to me, Jimmy, and asking me, how do I get worse? It was always, how do I get better? Yeah, right? So these are just other kind of spiritual tools you can use to do that same type of stuff.
I love it. My dear Jewish friend of decades would say, Jimmy, there's nothing wrong with your clients that 100 years of therapy wouldn't cure, but who's got the time or the money?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what I found. I love that you said that. That's so true. What I found, look, there's a time and place for therapy. Absolutely, yes. But I would also say the work that I do when I either meditate, do yoga, get focused or reflect or use a tool, speak to the guides, I got to tell you, that sure cuts through a lot of years of therapy. And that's all I got to say.
Well, I always say, you want to go faster. Remember the old rides at the big fairs and round around things, and the guy would always say, do you want to go faster? It's like, I want to go faster.
Faster. Well, time is speeding up. Really, time is speeding. We're getting into and we're moving into like the fifth dimension, getting through the fourth, going into the fifth, and in the fifth dimension, there's no sense of time-space continuum. Now, as humans, we can't understand this. It's very hard for us to, but the guides talk to me about it all the time, and therefore we start to experience these higher vibrational energies reaching us, and as we do so, we start opening up quicker. So there is a sense of we don't got time to maybe do some of the older types of techniques to open up and learn about yourself, which I'm talking about more traditional therapy. Again, sure. I still believe in it, but yet it can augment, and you can do this in many ways now. So that's what I think is the beauty of this. There's so many really interesting and great healers out there and helpers and guides along the way that can help us cut through the crap, if you will, and really help you just step into empowerment. We don't need years and years of psychoanalyzation as we might have maybe in the 1900s, early 1900s, or even 20 years ago. It's changed. Things have changed.
And that's good. You have that duality there, and again, not to knock that, but certainly the folks that don't believe in what we do, then certainly therapy could help them. I'm all about Western meds. I tell everybody, hey, if you break your arm or your wife breaks water, don't come to Jimmy's house. Go to the hospital. You got rebar hanging out of your shoulder. Go to the ER. That's what those people are set up for. So I think it's a little bit of everything, like you mentioned, and that's very apropos. Hey, we got a caller. 586, you're on line 1. Hi, where are you calling from and what's your name? Hey, we got a caller. This is 586. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on live.
Hi, how are you, Jimmy?
Good.
Good. Well, the reason I was calling is I had a terrible fall about a month and a half ago and had a pretty bad concussion. But my right shoulder is just killing me, and I've been trying to do everything to make it feel better.
Okay. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name's James Johnson, and I'm in St. Clair Shores, Michigan right now.
Okay.
But I was from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Okay. Karen, you want to chat with him for a minute, or you want me to take it? It's up to you, love. I always do ladies first, so.
Yeah, well, I'll say hi, James. I feel my feeling goes out to you. I know what it's like to have a pain in the body. For some reason, I'm just getting this symbol of a lightning strike or a fire or something. I'm seeing something hot. I'm not sure what that's about, but I feel like what I'm seeing is a visualization in my own mind of sending like a lightning right into your shoulder, like a heat flash that would help heal it. Does any of that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. So like a heating pad type thing, or?
Well, I didn't even think of that, but yes, that could help. I'm feeling that, but I'm seeing like in my mind, if you spend some time with the image of like a lightning bolt going into your shoulder, as if it's like coming from source energy, that might help. I'm just strongly getting this going into your arm. So maybe it's a matter of doing both. Jimmy, what are you sensing and feeling?
Yeah, I definitely, people either test for hot or cold, and you definitely test for heat right now. If you want to stand up and rock some stuff out, we'll show you the energy. And if you want to stand up, you can face due north.
Yes, sir.
All right. Your feet are about hip width apart. It's going to pull you forward for yes and push you backwards for no. You go by James?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Or you can call me Jim. Fine, too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can go by, let me ask. They call you Jim or James. Spirit calls you James, too, by the way. So let's just say my name is James, and you should feel a drift forward to affirmative that's a yes. My name is James.
My name is James.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. And if you say my name is Nemo the fish, you'll feel the pull backwards.
My name's Nemo the fish. Yes, I do feel that.
The difference. Okay. So let's just think for a second. Imagine a little cloud bubble above your head and out in front of you. And if you think of that shoulder pain right now, and there's some negative shoulder pain, that's going to pull you forward to yes.
Yes.
You'll feel drift, and we're going to release it, resolve it, delete and erase it, disentangle it all off of him now. Have him learn all the lessons he needed to from it, release him from the service to it. It'll pull you straight back when it leaves and drop you off in neutrality. Here we go.
I can feel it pulling.
What's that, James?
I said I can feel it pulling me back.
Yeah, it'll keep pulling. We're just taking all that out, and it's going to drop you off in neutrality once it's done. Called My Liquid Fish. And right now I would refer to it as you're in the wave. So it feels very wavy. A lot of people describe it as collapsing the field in physics or a 0-point field, and that's what we're dropping you into so you can endeavor to extract that pain out and replace it with something more positive. Obviously, your shoulder pain releasing, and it'll bring you back to neutral once it's done. You also test as a frozen shoulder as well, and I think that's what Karen's picking up on as far as lightning bolts or heat. Like I said, most people test either for cold or hot. You test for heat. You definitely want to do a heating pad on that as well. And let me know when you get back to neutrality.
I'm back.
Nice. So if you can just say it again, my shoulder feels weak. It should pull you back to no now.
And my shoulder feels weak. It is pulling me back.
Love it. And if you say my shoulder now feels strong, it's going to pull you forward.
My shoulder now feels strong. It's pulling me forward.
Love it. So that's bound to help you. When I ask spirit, bone, muscle, ligament, tendon, joint, 9 out of 10 things are joint. So you have joint pain. So anything you can do to quell the joint inflammation, like I said, a heating pad, test strong for right now, but I definitely would end up with Epsom salts on there. You could even go to any drugstore, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, and they're going to have Epsom salts lotion. All that really is magnesium. It's going to knock down a lot of inflammation you have. It's going to go a long way to help you out. Okay?
All right. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
All right, friend. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you, Jimmy. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
All the best.
You're welcome. Awesome. 352 is our next caller. Hi. I know where you're calling from. What's your name?
Hi, this is Cindy. Thank you for taking my
Hey,
call.
Cindy. How are you?
Hi,
What's
Cindy.
going on? You have a question for Karen?
I really need some assistance and insight into finding a new location to relocate. I keep hitting roadblocks, and it's really an emergency that I move ASAP due to the situation, and I'm being stalked by an ex who I have a restraining order against, and his drinking buddies are all friends with local good old boy law enforcement, and they refuse to violate him and arrest him on any of the violations of the injunction. He just has a free pass, and so now it's become a daily thing and nightly, trying to break in my house. They won't even fingerprint for the break-in. So I'm trying to relocate and find a new place. And if you any insight you see on finding that place or the timing when it's going to show up.
Karen, any ideas?
Well, this is what I'm getting. I'm getting there's something inside you that's holding you back. I'm not sure on the location at this point, but I'm picking up on something that on you, even though you're saying you really want to go, and I believe you do. There's something inside that's saying, I'm not worthy, or I can't go, or something's holding you. Do you hear what I'm saying? There's something in there that's kind of fighting you to go. Is there something more involved with this person that's like, I don't know, I'm feeling like there's something deep inside that says I can't go because I still need to help, or I still need to. You're definitely a very empathic, sensitive person who wants to help.
Yeah. No, I'm done with him. I want out of here. I want to get my family safe. And he's a psychopath. And very, very mad.
And I'm going to tell you what, just me literally stepping out and being just Karen, the therapist, absolutely, yes, you have to do that. But you've got it. There's something inside, because the guys were saying to me, you're going to know exactly right when the time is right. And you know it's now, but you're going to know where to go. It's this one little piece inside. If you can tell yourself, I deserve, I desire, I want, I need, I must have now the answer to move forward and get that strength there, I believe you're going to have the answer. But there's a little empowerment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe, Jimmy, you have an idea. What do you pick up on this?
No, it totally makes sense to me, and it's very empowering. It definitely shows up. I mean, if you're going through the restraining order route and all that, that tells me this has been going on for quite some time. What are my choices on where you're going to move to?
Anywhere. I'm open to anywhere away from this out of this county and away from this area where he doesn't know where I am. So I have been every property that comes up. I have to have some type of a farm with acreage because I have horses. I have to move everything, my whole family. But
Okay.
I've looked and been open-minded to the location. I don't care where it is. I've researched every option that comes available, and trying to get it. And either I can't get enough the funds quick enough, and it gets leased to someone else before I can make it happen, or it's not suitable. They want references from here, and I can't connect the new place with the old place and them know where I am. So
Okay. Well,
I'm very open to any location.
Yeah, and I get, you don't. This isn't anything you want to do like 10 miles away. I don't even get to stay in Florida, just so you know. I mean, there's a world of opportunity in Georgia.
And I have been looking at places there also. I'm open to, like I said, anywhere.
Okay. And again, I don't know you. Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
I'm hearing out of state too. And like I said, I'm telling you Georgia because they're telling me Georgia. So that's really what I'd be looking at. Doesn't even matter if it's just across the Georgia line, but there's a world of farm area up there, north, south, east, west Georgia. So whatever West Georgia is, I'd be looking pretty heavy around there.
Okay.
You got to do whatever you got to do. I mean, whether it's the city, police, or the county, or whoever, you're bound to be able to keep documenting this and build that trail and get a restraining order. You should be able to do that, no problem. But regardless.
I've already got the restraining order. I've had the restraining order since last August, but I'm only allowed to report the violations in the county that I live in, and so they're the only ones with jurisdiction. But it's a small community, and they're all his drinking buddies. And he has something on one of the local deputies that broke the law for him involved in this case. So they're trying to cover that up, and they will not arrest him on any of the violations. They just let him do what he wants, and they won't stop him, even though he's violated it, and they should have already arrested him. He just continues on because he's got a free pass. And they won't do anything.
Well, like Karen had mentioned, I mean, this is of the utmost, and you certainly, once you start going into, I always work with people on, is it safe and comfortable? So whatever that may be, safe and comfortable, it certainly doesn't test safe or comfortable to stay there or live there. There aren't enough locks in the world for you. So you definitely want to be looking at West Georgia, and that's what I'd be moving towards any way I could. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling in, and good luck with all that, honey. We'll keep you in our prayers, okay?
Thank you very much.
We wish you the best.
Yes. 908's our next caller. Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning. This is Caroline. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Okay. How are you, Caroline?
I'm great. How are you today, both of you?
Good. Thank you. Day after the first day of spring, so we're doing fabulous.
Happiness. This is happiness,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
It's happiness. It's the way
I love it.
Yeah.
You have a question for Karen?
Yes. I would love, it's a career question. I found this beautiful, stunning artist on YouTube, and he's in France, and he sounds like, let's just say, Yanni. So he has that kind of music, very soothing, very spiritual, very loving. And I approached him. I've been speaking with him, and what do you see for me, to represent him? And then he also is writing books, so there's those books I'd love to represent as well. Do you think this is going to be a very slow process, or is it coming? Because I asked him if I could, be his manager. So I guess what do you see for this?
Karen? Karen, any ideas?
Yeah, I'm seeing something a little.
Oh, she's breaking off.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me now, guys?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. I do see what you're talking about, but I'm seeing it a little differently. There's an opportunity there, but I'm also seeing you as like an artist yourself. Like either I feel like there's something like painting in you. It's like I see a picture being painted, and I feel like it's either you doing something creative for yourself too. That this might be a stepping stone for you. It's enlivening something within you. It's something that you're drawn to because this is within you too. And I feel like you're going to find some creative outlet for yourself. Now, is this a stepping place? Yes. I think there can be a beautiful orchestration with this person and helping him, but I don't see it as the end all. What do you see, Jimmy?
Yeah, it's very weak for you to get his work. You mentioned France or Europe or over that way. I'm sure he's hammered all the time by people that want to represent him. So it just tests kind of lukewarm at best, but I'd certainly be reaching out on Facebook. I'm all about, and it sounds funny at first, but if you think about it, I'm all about pushing people till no. So I would be, emailing him. Yeah. Okay, good. Once or twice a month, whatever. Facebook him, tweet him, whatever you got to do, all the social media stuff. Until he said, absolutely not. If you were the last person on earth, I'm not going to let you represent me. It's like, okay, my friend would joke, okay, so that's a maybe, right? So there you go. So I'm just being silly, but that doesn't show up that strong for you. I would side with Karen on this one. You've got a lot of innate abilities yourself, and I would look harder, more in the tri-state area for that type of representation if you're looking for artists and people and books and all that sort of thing, especially artsy stuff. So does that make sense? So just in your New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania-ish area, it tests hugely strong for you to have more of a huge base there and work with folks there.
That's new. Yeah. The books I already have clients, but I love music is very important to me as well. So I just found him, and he's so grounded, so down to earth. But he's very busy. He has a couple of jobs, but he's very talented, and he's very spiritual as well. So that's what drew me to him, and wanting to work with him. So because he is busy, it's all about money as well. So I guess it's all coming. That's the way I look at it. But
we're all
Yanni.
busy. Yeah, I love Yanni. I've seen Yanni in concert a bunch. Yeah, Yanni's a dream. He actually lives in Florida too, by the way. He lives in Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh, wow. Have you ever met him?
Yeah.
Have you met him?
Yeah, yes. Good. Sure have. And he's a dream. So
yeah, he's very nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a great guy. And he's on the opposite coast of me. I'm Clearwater, St. Pete, Tampa, and he's over in Palm Beach. But he's a dream. Wow. So anything you can do and resonate like that, it's a fine line, honey, between, I'm going to represent this person and I really enjoy them. So, a lot of times we might be caught up in all that and, it just may or may not work, but I definitely would push him, to no. But you test really strong for the tri-state area. So I would look heavy at doing something there locally. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yeah. Sometimes with me, it's just like I have to resonate, and people in this area aren't really open, aren't really open to, I don't know, there's a lot of egos. I do see artists around here, but they all have a lot of egos, so I'm like, nah, I don't bother. But, to me, it's like magic, it's just like spirit drives me, into a website, into YouTube. It's just like it was, one of those magical moments. So I kind of like.
You'd be surprised. Yeah, you'd be surprised. You just have to ferret that out in the tri-state area. I like Theta Healing. Theta Healing is in the middle of New York City. They've got an office. So anything's possible. Whoever dreamed Theta Healing would have a office in the middle of New York City, God bless them, So point is, it's becoming more and more of age. As Karen mentioned, we're going 3D, 4D, 5D, 27D, whatever. Time is a construct. So you can wind up doing all kinds of cool things. So I feel like in the next 3 weeks, you're going to have some breakthroughs about 3 weeks out. So you might be pleasantly surprised, but it's going to come out of the blue. And,
Well, you know
work
what
with.
I just got? I got the number 3 too, and you're right. I hear it 3 is soon. I also hear 3 months you're going to know more of who you're representing. But I really believe this gentleman has like we were talking about earlier, has awoken some other latent abilities within you, and I keep seeing a palette being painted. I know you said music, but this is just waking you up to find. Now you're resonating, so those people can be attracted to you, the ones you really like without the egos, who are really into their music, really into their passion. And I hear this is coming soon for you too. So I think that's what this represents to you.
Oh, yeah. I
Love
like
it.
everything with art.
It's beautiful.
Artsy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love
Very
art,
cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was very
look up. You can look up the art by Julia. She's done a lot of creative pieces, and or just send me an email. It's info@jimmymackhealing.com. I'll send you her website. The artist Julia, and she only does artistic types of pieces guided by spirit. She actually did a Theta Healing Tree in honor of having sessions with me. So it's very profound and very cool. She does artwork. She turns it into jewelry and charm bracelets and necklaces and earrings and the same pieces. So she'll have on there, hummingbirds and the Buddha tree and all these different totem animals. Yeah, and she's out of Colorado. So send me an email. It's info@jimmymackhealing.com. I'll send you a link to her website. You can just look over her stuff. You would love, love, love it. If you like Yanni, you're going to love this. Okay?
Oh, thank you. You're so beautiful.
Thanks for calling in, honey.
You,
we appreciate it. Have a glorious
day.
day.
You're very welcome.
You too.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 504, you're our next caller. Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Mary Lou. I'm calling from New Orleans.
Oh, wow, Mary Lou. You're coming in pretty computerized there. Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Better?
That's a little bit better. So I don't know if you need to walk around a little bit or just move the phone around a little bit. Maybe that'll get better.
Okay. Sorry about that. Go back?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
Just call us right back, honey, okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
Boy, that was a tough one. I couldn't hear hardly at all.
You know what? That happens all the time, Karen, especially on Skype calls I'll have. It sounds like I call it submarines and choo-choo trains, and a lot of it's the energy. So
yeah, wow. That was a tough
Reverend
one.
Tiffany White Sage Woman is our producer, and she's very powerful, too. So sometimes between her and me and you and all this stuff going on, it's kind of like the other world just saying, hey, how's it going? So
right, we're here. Don't forget. I know
exactly.
Don't
forget about us. So
yeah, right.
that's exactly right. So hopefully she'll call back. That's 504 area code out of New Orleans. So,
good.
Very cool. Yeah, I love the artsy thing. And, listen, people resonate with us all the time. That doesn't always mean we're going to represent them out of Europe somewhere, but, it's okay.
Well, I felt like it's a springboard again, and it's a way for her to jump deeper into herself. And it's I'm hearing it now. It's a wake up call for her own inabilities, which inner abilities, which I think she's going to bring out more. And it could just be representing them, but I think she has some own talents. But the key thing is that this connection with this gentleman in France awoken that for her again at a deeper level.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, when you said the mansion type thing, I'm picking up Taj Mahal, which is really kind of a work of art, and yet a beautiful palace, and it's representative of a lot of different angles. So I get a lot of different weird angles for her, which is all good. Hey, Mary Lou's back on the line. 504. Hey, Mary Lou, can you hear us now?
Yes. Do I sound better?
You sound 1,000,000% better. Thank God.
Oh.
What a dream.
I don't know what that was.
That's okay. It's all good.
You're back.
What's your question, Mary Lou? How can we help you?
So, I'm not looking for a physical healing or medical intuitiveness. I'm looking to do like major life transformation and shift things around. And maybe I'm putting too much effort in forcing it and not allowing it, but I'm wondering if you could take a look at what I'm trying to do.
Karen?
Energetic.
Wow. Okay.
Energetic.
Let's see what the guides are saying. Okay. They said that there's actually there's two options you've been looking at, you've been exploring, and they're saying that you're torn, but yet there is one that you really love. There's something I'm feeling here. Okay, I'm seeing a picture of like it looks like a glass bottle, but it's a darker bottle. I'm not sure what the symbol is here, but there's like this bottle, and it's like you have the ability to pour it, and when you pour it, it's going to go everywhere, and in a good way. It's like spreading something. You're spreading like energy. Let's see. They're saying you've got to trust in this ability that you have yourself, which is your ability to spread yourself like career-wise. And I mean, it's beyond career. It's like have your ability to be in the world who you really want to be. This is the struggle you have. It's like, I've been doing this for so long, but I feel I'm yearning to do something new, and I'm not quite sure what it is. But they said if you just tap into this concept of a bottle, like an image, and allow it to pour out on the table, what would it pour out of it? It could be anything. And they're saying if you can answer that question, you're going to have a better decision in your mind of which way to go. And once you make that decision, they're saying everything is going to flow into place. All the right people are going to come. You're going to be driven in the right direction. It might even involve a move, not to say a physical move, but a move for you to take a chance, maybe a risk. Does any of this stuff make sense to you?
If there's a risk, I've taken it. If there is belief to have in yourself, I've did it. It's like I've walked out on the plank, and I'm like, hey, God, I did my part. Where are you?
Okay. Okay. They're saying there's still that other part of you that's kind of fighting. There's like these two choices that you still are kind of going back and forth between. I'm not sure what the choices are, but they're saying if you want to go that other step, they're saying take this bottle, like metaphorically in your mind's eye, like right now, if you took a bottle, dumped it out, something flows out of it. What is it that flows out? And when you can answer that question, that's going to give you more insight. Something flows out of it. It could be anything. It could be like birds or butterflies. It could be gold, liquid gold. It could be milk. Something spills out of it that gives you a better indication of what direction you're supposed to go. Does that make any sense to you, that image? Metaphorical image of a bottle being turned upside down, stuff flows out.
No, but the fact that there's two choices, I'm not just trying to work on two things. I'm working on multiple things.
Okay, all right. Well,
none of it is panning out. I mean, it'll pan out, but not monetarily, and that you can't go an extended period of time without money. You know,
and they agree with you, but they're also saying that's actually hindering you. They're saying you don't have to go all or nothing. You don't have to go all or nothing right now. You got to keep doing a little here and there, and then the all. If you can figure out what that thing is, and that's the only image there to give me right now is that bottle. Maybe it's like the genie in the bottle. That's your answer, but it's something you dump out, and you're going to see it. And it's not a literal thing. Again, it's metaphorical, but it's to help you on your way. There's two things, though. Even though you have multiple, you're saying, I still see two things that are fighting each other. But the thing is that you've got to go, okay, I'm going to go for this, which you've gone for, but I'm also going to respect the fact that I've got to have income coming in. So it's not an all or nothing. I think you're wanting to be all or nothing or black and white. I'm not seeing it that way. Jimmy, do you have any insight into this?
I totally agree with that. I would say too that everybody goes, oh, I want to be just like you, Jimmy, and I'm like, yeah, well, do it for decades and have near-death experiences and take every healing modality and then get back with me. So I would say to everybody, including you, it feels like if we're on this ice drift, you don't want to jump into the freezing cold water where the sharks are. You want to barely step onto the next ice drift that's going faster than what you have now. And it's okay to do a little bit of everything. So if you got to work at, I don't care where, and work on your other project as well. I'm like Karen, I got 50 things going on at one time,
Right.
I have audios and videos and book projects and radio and, just all this stuff. I'm doing some show tonight out of, like Scotland or something. And, so, you got to almost make yourself busy. So I would not, they're just showing me somebody that you're kind of sort of at this point going, okay, I did everything and I'm looking out the window waiting for it to rain down. It's like, you got to make it rain. I don't rely on anybody anymore. I just got to go. And at the end of my show, I always say, make progress every day. So that's really what you want to do. is instead of waiting on any of this stuff to happen, you just got to really make it happen.
Okay, so every minute of every single day is spent working, and I'm getting rewards, and they're large, but they're not monetary. So when you add it all up, I'm working myself to death with no compensation.
Okay. So let's make it, I don't even get that it's safe and comfortable for you to receive large sums of money. Stand up and face due north, and we'll give you that, okay?
Okay.
So you're standing there now. You want about a foot in between your feet, okay? And you go by Mary Lou. You just say, my name is Mary Lou. You're going to feel a drift forward for yes.
Yes.
Right. And if you say, my name is Nemo the fish, you're going to feel the pull backwards.
Okay. My name is Nemo the fish. Okay, got it.
Nice. Okay. And so just forward, think of forward as yes and backwards as no. Forward is positive, backwards is negative. Doesn't mean it's negative. It just, is without, let's just say. So if you say, I'm open to receiving large sums of money, let us all know if you're going forward, back, or in between.
I am definitely going forward.
Okay,
I don't
good.
know
So
because I want to be going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be open to receiving that, but that just gives you the probability, okay? And so then I would do deserving. I'm deserving of monetizing what I'm doing now. You can say that. See if you go forward, back, or in between.
Okay, I'm going forward.
Good. And I'm worthy of monetizing what I'm doing now.
Yes, indeed.
Good. So it's lined up pretty well. You show perhaps a twinge of resentment for this. It's like I'm trying, and nothing's coming in monetarily, And, unless you're a priest and you've taken vows of celibacy and vows of poverty, that doesn't do you much good, right? So we don't want to save up things for the afterlife. We would like to have that monetized now, okay? So let's allow that to happen. What other blocks do you perceive that are keeping you from that? We'll test them out right now while you're in this position.
If I could figure out what my blocks were, I would definitely have removed them by now.
Okay, but let's put it this way. You sound like frustrated. Would you say you feel angry, resentful, frustrated? More about frustration, where this is coming up.
More frustration. I'm not angry or resentful.
Okay, so that's good. So just say I feel frustrated with my monetary progress and see if that pulls you forward.
It pulls me forward.
So I'm going to release it, resolve and delete it, erase it, disentangle it out into the void. It's going to pull you backwards when it leaves.
Okay.
That's bound to help you. I also want to give you good fortune. Spirit's talking about good fortune. I like that even more than money. You just want to show up at the mall parking lot and the first space is already empty, that sort of thing. You want to have more mystical, magical fun in your life. So we'll just line you up for good fortune now. It's going to pull you straight forward when it comes in.
Uh-oh, I'm not being pulled forward. Okay.
You will be. It's coming.
All right.
Feel it now?
Yeah.
Awesome. And it'll pull you back to neutral once it's done. And this is Spirit filling you up with good fortune right now.
Okay.
Make sense? So I feel like about the next 3 weeks out, you should be doing a whole lot better. So in spite of it being retrograde or anything else, slap dab in the middle of retrograde, it's almost like you're going to have completion pieces. So about 3 weeks from now, everything should start to crank up and be a little bit better. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That's what I'm hoping for. I certainly have enough irons in the fire.
Yeah, good. More of that, please, right? We just want you to monetize them. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Love it.
And it is about good fortune and luck because I'm trying to get picked out of the crowd.
Sure. Well, let's do this.
And that's not easy.
Well, here you go. If you're standing up, stand back up and do face due north. here's one of the things I would give to somebody that said that. That's why I'm asking you. They always say, ask the human in the room, so I'm asking you. So the statement would be, I am the choice instead of the option, and see if you go forward, back, or in between now.
Oh, I definitely want to be the choice and not the option.
So say I'm the choice instead of the option, and see if it pulls you forward, back, or in between.
I am the choice and not the option. Okay, it's pulling me forward.
Good.
And I hope that's just not my ego pulling me forward, because I really want to be the choice.
I could hold up a whiteboard behind your head, and it would pull you forward to yes right now, because we've changed that through good fortune. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. We appreciate you calling in.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
I love it. Yeah.
You know,
And
I really heard strong conviction in her voice when she made that last shift, when she said, I have good fortune, I'm picked out of the crowd and not the option, I'm the choice. There was such conviction. There was a definite shift I heard there. Did you hear it?
Yep.
And feel it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel it here, so it's amazingly cool.
It was strong on my end, too. I was like, that's it. And just stay focused on that. It's going to work. It's going to work. She made that shift right there.
I agree. And, she sounds somewhat, I'm just going to use the word combative or frustrated with, I've tried everything. It's
Sure.
like, no, you haven't, because you don't have the option. I promise you, if we went back an hour in time and just said, hey, yesterday she was a choice instead of the option, it would have pulled her backwards to no. So it actually shifted. And that's what you're picking up on, is the shift when that happens.
I felt it strongly. And yeah, she's there.
I love it.
She's like 85% there. Now she's got to stay focused with her positive thoughts. And in that direction.
It's not good or bad. It's just part of it. And like you said, good luck. I love good luck. I go with, there's people all the time, whether you believe in luck or not, they line up either for good luck, bad luck, or they think if it wasn't for bad luck, I have no luck at all, and a lot of times that'll test true. And that off and download some good luck, and they're good to go. So I love it.
Absolutely.
Hey, anything else you'd like to add? What a fabulous show. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. This has been great. Really quick beat show, isn't it?
Yeah, it flies by.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was wonderful, and it's really delightful to be able to work with somebody else on this level and kind of play tag team in terms of the energies, because we both pick it up from a different angle, but yet it comes together, and it's getting that energy from even two or more gathered in my name. It's like that much more powerful. So it's fabulous, wonderful time.
Don't hesitate. Send this link out on your next newsletter. I have to compliment you on how cool your e-newsletter was. It just looks fabulous, folks. So,
thank you very much.
It's gorgeous color. It just looks like this spread out ponderosa of writing and color and links. And oh my God, it's like a dream. So people, you got to go to her website, sign up for her e-newsletter as well, because it's very diverse and it has a lot of different options on there, similar to mine. But tell them again how to get a hold of you, Karen, and we'll wrap it up.
Absolutely. Well, so you can find me at KarenADahlman.com, DAHLMAN. Don't forget the middle initial A in there. And that's my website. Yes, there's a newsletter there. Come join me there. You're not going to get a barrage of a bunch of stuff. It'll be you'll get an email from me or a newsletter from me about every 4 to 6 weeks. I release articles. I release new information, new shows, things that are coming up where you can find me. Join the newsletter. Go read my articles. Come join me on social media. You can also find me. There's a Ask Karen or contact me on my website. I answer everybody's emails that come to me with questions, and we'll go from there. But thank you so much for having me, Jimmy, and it's been a pleasure. And thank you to all the listeners for calling in and talking to me as well. It's just been delightful today.
Love it. Yeah, folks, and we appreciate having you on the show. It's really great. And stay tuned next week, of course, for Reverend Debbie Dean Spear. We'll be doing communication with the dead and those that have crossed over on the other side with messages. You can join us here every Tuesday at 12 noon. We appreciate everybody being here. We want to wish you the rest of your life will be the best of your life and remind you to make progress every day. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.